Hello everybody, I'm here with Mike Baker and John Jensen from Reach Security. Reach is a fantastic company that we've been learning a lot about since they've been in the Microsoft for Startups program. And one of the most interesting factors that I've heard about is that only 20% of enterprises are actually using the features that they pay for in their security software. So guys, tell me a bit about it. Why is that the case and how is Reach Security helping in this area?
Well, Tom, thanks for having Mike and I. Thrilled to be here today. The 20% statistically is directionally correct. Enterprises buy security tools by the truckload, and they're trying to solve very specific problems when they do that. In fact, the average large enterprise owns over 50 security tools, but they only actively really use a handful of those tools despite the spend, and even a smaller fraction of the available features in those tools. Think about foundational tools like identity, endpoint, network security, email security. The majority of enterprises and mid-market organizations have these tools in play today, but the problem is they're having issue with all the new features that are being introduced in these technologies and trying to keep pace while their security staff is under a ton of pressure to keep up with all of these changes. Here's how it typically goes in an enterprise. A smart security architect, they define what tools, products, and controls should be implemented. Then they pass that along to security engineers who set up policies and rules for these different mitigating controls. They in turn hand off these policies to administrators, but the administrators didn't build any of this, and they may not fully understand the capabilities. As a result of that, defenses go out of alignment with real-world attack patterns that are changing all the time. Configurations go stale. Policies that were configured, they just slowly drift out of date. And all these powerful capabilities sit unused. So it's a major problem that we're seeing in the industry. What is old is new again. Configuration drift continues to creep into the enterprise. Mike, I'm sure you've got a couple of comments.
Yeah, what I was thinking, John and Tom, again, thanks again for having us, is that if you even look at the latest report from Expel, over 80% of those vulnerabilities are not from lack of tools, but from misconfigurations and drift, to what John was referring to. So it's really the old problem. Where Reach is particularly strong is in this area. Our founders came from Palo Alto, Proofpoint, Cylance, and have been working on back-end AI models, have really witnessed this problem hands-on amongst thousands and thousands of customers. They'd go out to breach customers, and they would find that the breach customers, it wasn't a lack of tools. It wasn't because they didn't buy the right tool. It was simply because the tool wasn't correctly deployed. The policy had drifted, and so it creates this enormous gap that's very difficult to identify because the typical organization doesn't have the expertise to know where their gaps are after they've deployed it. So it's quite a problem for enterprises at large.
So this is the age-old problem, as you say. We have all the tooling that you want in the world, but it goes back down onto the human beings, and we have to be able to solve that, and it sounds like Reach is helping out to do that. So in this world of AI, how is that really going to affect everybody, and how is Reach helping enterprises solve these problems?
Yeah, great question, Tom. In the area of detection and response, there's been a significant amount of money and innovation around optimizing security operations center through the use of AI. This is happening across industry today, but back to the fundamental blocking and tackling on configuration management and security posture management, we haven't really seen AI being integrated into tools to be able to optimize what we're talking about here. That's where Reach comes into play. We connect with existing security tools that the customer already owns, and we use purpose-built domain-specific language models, DSLMs. You can go read about DSLMs at the core of our technology. That allows us to do a few things. It allows us to surface misconfigurations that are difficult to find on your own manually, or even with scripting, to prioritize fixes around those configurations, to provide automated remediation. For example, staging a configuration change where it's ready to hit, enter, configuration change, deploy. instead of manually going through release notes and having to do this the hard way, we'll surface those, prioritize fixes, handle automated remediation, and do that in a continuous life cycle through the use of AI in the stack. What we do is we detect configuration changes the moment they happen, and we provide immediate value back to our customers by establishing these golden baseline configurations. We even measure license adoption and activation to make sure a given tool's fully deployed in the right areas. And then by what Mike talked about, continuously monitoring configuration drift. And that leads to better operational maturity. Everybody wants an index score to say I'm 99% there. We help drive that operational maturity up.
It's remarkable, actually, how our back-end AI works. It literally provides extra manpower for our customers. So it makes our customers, their top engineers, even smarter, because you have this domain-specific LM who's reading all the release notes and just digging in to the technology while the top engineers and the technical folks are off doing more important tasks. It's a perfect coverage model and a spectacular use case for AI in cybersecurity.
It sounds like it. I mean, attacking that 80% of sort of misconfigurations and things, leveraging AI to do that, I think is really one of the top jobs that AI can help with, and it sounds like it's going well. I've been hearing that Reach has been doing phenomenally well in the market with some incredible year-on-year growth and things. Why don't you tell me a little bit about that? Because I'm sure the enterprises are going to be really keen to jump in on your technology.
Thanks for the lead in and the softball there, Tom. We grew over 500% last year. We're focused on the upper market, just extraordinary uptake from Fortune 1000 companies, but also the mid-market as well is a prime target for us, with Microsoft having invested $10 million into Reach as part of their investment from M12. We're very close to Microsoft as well, and we pay close attention to Microsoft use cases as well. We see over and over again, even within the Microsoft portfolio, of helping customers better adopt their E3 and E5 licenses, helping them move from other cybersecurity technologies to the Microsoft suite. We're very focused on just making sure that all customers, in this conversation specifically Microsoft customers, get full use out of all their licenses, regardless of who's licensing them. But there is quite an intense partnership between Microsoft and Reach, and we're very excited about the future together.
That's excellent. That's excellent. Now, one question I always ask people is, I have here a magic wand. What is the one thing that you would do as Reach Security to be able to help enterprises stay more secure?
The one thing, we would offload the operational burden of all the individual stakeholders that we talked about by automating and surfacing the things they don't see, making it quicker time to value for them to have a better security posture. It's as simple as that. The one magical thing, we've already included domain-specific language models and capabilities in the technology stack that Reach has to offer, but the ultimate outcome for the customer is an improved security posture. Make sure they don't get breached. Way left of boom, if you know left of boom and right of boom, boom is a breach. So way left of boom, giving them the insights to be able to make informed decisions before detection and response kicks in, before they get the call to say, I have an issue.
Just to add on to that, just one other thing is to give our customers their time back. You have this top tier talent, they're maxed out, and what the Reach platform does is literally give them days and weeks back by operating continuously without much effort. That's super exciting from a manpower perspective.
There's not one CISO in the world, I don't think, that wouldn't want this. So I think you guys are onto a great track with that. So very exciting. You're going to be with us at RSAC 2026. How can enterprises get hold of you and speak to you and learn more about Reach Security?
We will be in mass at RSA in a couple of weeks here. We look forward to it, and we look forward to the partnership with Microsoft. We're holding executive briefings with Mike, myself, our founders, Garrett Hamilton and Cole Blackmore, and others in the business. We can meet on site at our executive briefing centers or with Microsoft. I think at the Palace Hotel, we've got executive breakouts that we can do there, so we could meet either place. We'd love to have a joint meeting with you, with our Microsoft counterparts. We can provide an overview of breach. We can provide a demonstration of the technology to you. We just understand more insights in terms of the direction your organization is going. But if one of the outcomes, if you don't make it to RSA for whatever reason, you want to demo the technology, just simply go to reach.security, our website. There's a dedicated page to Microsoft on our website with a ton of great content that we developed. And we're making a significant number of announcements at RSA around advancements in the technology stack. So reach.security, look Mike Baker and John Jensen up on LinkedIn. We'll have an avenue for you that way to be able to book meetings. We'll look forward to seeing you.
Excellent. I think it'll be time well spent by any of our customers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Tom.